Hey everybody, this is Bossman Mike again. Figured our second video I probably need to answer some of the commonly asked questions about us and about Nurox in general. Number one question we seem to get is always a sizing issue. The majority of our customers are US customers, but Nurox are all done in the EU system. Okay, some basic info about the EU system. Their method is a little bit more interesting in the way it's done. It's also a little bit more standardized, which is the beautiful thing about it. When the EU came together and started switching over to the EU system and standardizing it, everybody's shoes had to fit the same qualifications. What this means is if you buy a pair of Nurox in a size 36, all the styles should be able to fit pretty well in 36. And if you buy any other brands that are up to that same standard that's required to put in the EU size, you can get it the same size without too much of an issue. Sometimes you'll have half size, quarter size, little slight variations, but it's a style thing, not an actual size difference. It's due to the style having like a more pointed toe, or not being as tall, or something along those lines. That being said, the sizes from Nurox, because the leather is so supple, I tend to recommend people go down a size slightly. If you do have a sizing issue where you think, oh well, I could be a 37, but the chart says I'm a 36, if you think you're a 36 and a quarter, get the 36. Don't worry about getting the 37, because you can wear them for a few hours. They'll be tight at first, but they'll loosen up with just body temperature and everything like that, which is another key thing to bring up with when you're dealing with Nurox. We get all of our stuff from the Spanish factory. 99% of the time when you order a pair from us, it's actually coming directly from the manufacturer to you. We're not even taking hands on it. Well, when they do that, it is shipped internationally, usually either FedEx or UPS. Either way, it's going to be sent one of the cheaper methods, one of the fast methods, but cheaper methods. Cheaper being it's probably going to go into the bottom of a very big plane that's usually not pressurized and not very temperature controlled. What that equates out to, this is all real natural substances in Nurox boots. They contract. So when you first get them, even if it is the perfect size, you may have to put them on for a few minutes before the leather actually warms back up and softens back up just that little bit to they'll fit perfectly. That's why we actually allow you to keep them for a couple days, wear them around the house, don't go mud bogging in them, that sort of thing. But you can hold on to them, you can wear them, make sure that they're that you don't have an issue with the size, as long as they come back in a like new being they need to be clean, they need not having scuffs, no major wear on them, that sort of thing. We typically can get a return on them and not have too much of an issue. Which brings up another thing, the way that we, I mentioned, most of your boots are going to come from Spain, not from us. Basically, we have a situation with them where we can drop ship. I think we're up to 1,500 styles you can get of Nurox. When you start factoring that in, we can't carry every size and every style. It's just not possible for us to have the inventory. Even Nurox starting to run into that issue where they've now split the line into two different series. You've got the custom series, and then you've got what they call ready stock. I will link the ready stock catalog actually in the info. Basically, what the ready stock means is it's stuff that they actually keep in stock and ready to go. The custom series is the stuff that they're actually going to have to 9 out of 10 times make for you. They'll also have the season stock, which is the stuff that they'll have essentially customs in the ready stock temporarily. They'll make a few because there's something that sell during that time of year, and keep that up. But anyway, custom series usually take about 35 days. Ready stock, on the other hand, if they've got them, which is what the idea of ready stock is that they have those in stock. You're looking at usually about 5 days from the date you order them. That's 1 day for us to get them processed, for us to make sure the funds came through, process them, and then they'll usually ship them out next day. In which time then it's 3 to 4 days for shipping here in the U.S. If you're actually buying out of Europe, you can cut that down to about 2 days, especially if you're in Germany, because it's a direct route from the warehouse usually to Germany. We've had a couple of orders from Australia, the Australians, at about 5 days, just to be safe, but we have had those generally get out within 5 days. You've got them. But we did have one pair that ended up floating around a little bit. Now, why do we not keep very much inventory? One, like I said, lots and lots of boots, lots of sizes. Each pair usually has about 8 to 10 sizes, and we just cannot stock that. Also, very small company. We have only really one full-time employee, me, and then we've got some part-timers, and like Ed Winch. She helps out with the Facebook page. Occasionally she responds to an email, gets a phone call, but mostly she does marketing and promotions. So it's a small company, not a lot of money. I got into this out of luck. I had another business that allowed me to get in with New Rock. They needed a U.S. supplier, or a U.S. retailer, and I kind of fit the bill at the time and had a great love of New Rocks. So it was win-win for me. I also was tired of really long shipping times. You order here in the U.S., you order from UK, you're looking at 3 months before you see your boots, and that's really common. You order from us, like I said before, 4 to 5 days. It's incredibly fast. The reason why it takes everybody else so long is that they actually bulk order all theirs. They'll squeeze together all the orders over about a 2-3 month period, have them all shipped to them in one big huge pallet, and then ship everything out. No, I could make more money doing that, don't get me wrong, but I can keep the prices low comparative with them and still be able to get you guys your boots pretty quick without having to keep a ton in inventory. Now, that's not to say we wouldn't like to start keeping some in inventory. 591s, that sort of thing, a couple of 373s. I'd love to be able to keep those in inventory where I can just ship them straight out, and also to where we can take them to shows. Now, one of the things that gets hit a lot that we get asked about is why they cost so much. Major reason why they cost so much is, one, high quality, high quality materials. Everything's all natural. Even the vegan, yes, vegan leather New Rocks do exist. We've got them on our site. But even the vegan New Rocks are made from natural materials. Second of all, you're dealing with a company that has been in business for almost a century as far as cobblers. Now, notice I call them cobblers, not a shoe manufacturer. That's because these boots are handmade. The individual components may not be, like the soles, the metal components, that sort of thing. Yeah, those may be mass-produced, but the actual leather cutting and the sewing and all of that sort of work, yeah, that's all handmade. That's not something that you're seeing made on an assembly line. There's actually a really nice video I came up with. I'll see if I can link that in the comments. to show you some of the manufacturing process, and we'll view inside the factory. The other thing is they are durable as Hades. Well, yeah, we sell a brand called Hades too, but they're very durable. Good example, my very first pair. I've got them down here on the floor beside me. This is my very first pair of Nurox. I actually bought them used, third owner. Only problem I've ever had with them is zipper needs replaced. Now that being said, they haven't made these in a decade. These are, according to what I've been able to find out from the previous two owners, they're about 13 years old. Well, rather, they were 13 when I got them, and I've had them for about several years. But they stopped making these about a decade ago. This actually predates the number system. These had names. I believe these were called the Sabres. There's a shorter series that started coming back out that's only about as tall as this first notch. It's a calf-high boot that is almost identical to it. That's actually, I think they're about to start remaking those. I've been seeing parts available for them called the Blades. But, you know, you can see on these, even the sole, that's over a decade's worth of wear on those, and they're still kicking. Another good example of the durability, this is actually a pair of Head Winch's boots. This is, I believe, her first pair. We've had these things kicking around. She wore them to her day job. She literally spends her day job on her feet all day. She works retail. And this was her everyday pair for about 5 years. And you can see these things are still holding together. Once again, failure point was the zipper. After about 5 years, this pair is this boot. The zipper's still good on. Didn't have a problem. It was the other one. Zipper popped out. I actually owe her a replacement pair, because what we're going to do is we're going to use these inside once we get a store and start showing up at conventions and festivals and such. We're going to use these as this is how long these things can last. This is 5 years worth of everyday wear, literally. Even if you just count the time that she wore them at work, she worked about 6 to 8 hours a day, 5 days a week, on her feet. Rarely took any off days, you know, few vacations. So they got wore a lot. So anyway, since we're talking about everyday wear, these are mine, and this is something you don't normally think of from Nurox. Nice, comfy. This is actually part of the Light series. I actually got these in a return. We had a customer send them back, weren't the right size for them, and just so happens I can wear a 44. I'm supposed to be a 43, but I can wear a 44. I have very large calves, so the 44s actually fit me a little bit better. But these are my everyday wear. I mean, literally, these are my everyday wear. I've had these for a good 3 years. And this is not, I mean, this is completely, I'm going to bring the light around, very bright light to where this can be seen. You know, this is everyday wear. I don't clean them very often, if at all. I did not clean them before I brought them in front of the camera. So, but not something you normally think of from Nurox. Much more casual, much more everyday, fit with anything sort of feel to them. You know, it's just one of those things where you can get everything from bedroom slippers, and yes, we do have them, and flip-flops and sandals and such, to the big monster spikes everywhere pairs and the 373s that have gold on them. Yes, gold-plated metal on 373 Nurox. Not cheap, but that's mostly the gold, because that's a real basic pair, not really anything complex. At the end of this, I'm going to tack on a picture of what the sizing chart looks like, so that it is referenceable for you. If you have any other questions you want me to do a quick video on, I'll compile up and maybe do an FAQ too. But these are the common questions we get asked constantly.